What's up, guys? This is Braden from SayWeCanFly, and we are here at the Alternative Press office in Cleveland, Ohio. This is our third day on the Conversations Tour, which is a tour that we are doing with an organization called Hope For Day. Basically, this whole tour is basically about suicide prevention awareness, and we kind of just wanted to make this more about connecting with you guys and just talking with you. So I'm going to be playing some songs for you, and I'd like to kind of share a little bit about each song before I play. So this first song is called Song of the Sparrow, and I don't know, I think a lot about just life and death, and I kind of wanted to capture a little bit about my feelings and just about what I believe and how darkness and light have both played a part in my life. So I hope you guys like it. Like a sparrow, I can fly, but I cannot touch the sky. Like a flower, I can grow, but I cannot grow alone. But someday I would like to know that when I die, I will find my soul, and when I'm gone, and my skin is cold, well, I care where my body goes, where my body goes. Like a season, I can leave, but you cannot follow me. Like a mountain, I am tall. You can climb me until you fall. Someday I would like to know that when I die, I will find my soul. When I'm gone and my skin is cold, will I care where my body goes, where my body goes. Where my body goes. I have ripped the beating heart out of my chest. Feel bleeding as I fall apart. I've torn my wings in two. I have ripped the beating heart out of my chest. For you, bleeding as I fall apart. I've torn my wings in two. Someday I would like to know that when I die, I will find my soul. When I'm gone, my skin is cold, will I care where my body goes, where my body goes. Cool. So that was awesome. Do I just keep going? Keep going? Cool. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in today. I appreciate it. So this next one is a new one off of my EP that I'm releasing in the fall. It's called Darling, and this song's called Better Off Alone. And the reason I wrote this song is because sometimes just, doing this whole independent music thing, or just like being a musician in general and having a tour and, choosing to dedicate my life to doing this, it's definitely like ripped me away from, people that I care about, my family, my friends. And, sometimes it creates this like lonely space in my life. because I know I always have to keep following it and doing it no matter where it takes me. So this song's kind of all about that, and I hope you guys dig it.
He told me, son, you won't survive unless you earn your dimes and take care of yourself. And my mother told me once or twice to watch my back, because my vice is coming swiftly. If I'm not careful, they might kill me. But do you understand the heartbreak you have caused me by trying to run my life and being scared? If you love me, why don't you trust me to do this on my own? If you need me, why'd you leave me? I'm better off alone. Better off alone. Come few and far between since I've been living out my dream. How can I trust them? How can I trust them? And these days are long this time of year, consumed by all my guilt and fear about a future that will never even be here. But do you understand the moments you have cost me? My life and being scared. So if you love me, why don't you trust me to do this on my own? And if you need me, then why'd you leave me? I'm better off alone. I'm not running, 'cause I've got all I need.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you guys. Sweet. I'm just gonna, where's my water? I don't know, somebody took my water. Anyway, okay, cool. So this is this song's called Scars, and I wrote this one, thank you very much, back when I was in high school. And the reason I wrote this one is because I saw a lot of people, deal with pain in different ways. And, obviously myself, I've experienced, depression and all the things that humans go through. And I think, what I've learned, through just my journey so far in life is that no matter, how old we are, I think we all go through it, even if it just expresses itself differently. And I think we all have our own way of dealing with it, so I just kind of wanted to write a song about the fact that we all do go through the same pain. As cliche as that might sound, I think it's easy to forget that. So this song's called Scars, and I hope you guys dig it.
Scars on your wrist are the mark of the world, an ocean that's left you so torn. But remember the heart you brought into this world, the same one as when you were born. How confused you must be, finding love in the blood that you bleed. But the truth is that I see why you say that it's hard to be me. And we all make mistakes. It's not you, but this world you should hate. You're in your eyes are the products of lies. You've been led to believe that they're true, but remember the life you brought into this world. I promise it will get you through. How confused you must be, finding love in the blood that you bleed. But the truth is that I see why you say that it's hard to be made. And we all make mistakes. It's like you, but this world you should hate. You're as beautiful as you were yesterday.
Cool. Awesome. Do I have time for one more? Or, cool. Awesome. Alright, so this is my last one for today. This one is called The Distance That Took You Away. And the reason I wrote this one is because I think one of the things that's probably caused me the most pain in my life is losing people. You know, whether it's family, friends, you know, it doesn't matter. I think just the absence of people that you love sometimes can really create this crazy space. And you know, sometimes it's hard to accept that things change, I guess. And this song's kind of all about that. And hope you guys like it.
I know I love you, but I won't tell you a thing in case you don't. And I know I miss you, but it's okay. I don't get depressed when I am lonely, but I just need something to calm my nerves. Preferably a cigarette or something just as absurd. Or maybe I want my anxiety to stay, 'cause in the end it's all I have to ease the pain of the distance that took you away. Distance that took you away. And I'll take a drink because I'm lost, trapped somewhere deep inside my thoughts. But if for some reason you forget, well, I'll just remember you instead. But I just need something to calm my nerves. Preferably a cigarette or something just as absurd. Or maybe I want my anxiety to stay, 'cause in the end it's all I have to ease the pain of the distance that took you away.
Sweet. Cool, cool, cool. Awesome. I hope you guys enjoyed that. We're about to do a Q&A. So stay tuned. Yes. Cool. What's up, guys? This is Braden from SayWeCanFly, and we are here doing a Q&A about pretty much whatever you want to talk about, but we are doing the Conversations Tour right now, which is I'll let you continue that, Johnny.
Oh, the Conversations tour is it's a tour that Hope for the Day and Braden and Leda and I are putting on that surrounds itself about mental health and suicide prevention, but more or less the reason we're doing this exact thing right now is because tomorrow's World Suicide Prevention Day. We're in the middle of National Suicide Prevention Week, and we just kicked the tour off. And one thing to take away from this is that it's okay not to be okay, and we want to hear your questions and hear your life stories and give you some advice, because it's okay to talk about things, especially when things are rough. But we also have...
And I'm Leda, and I have a YouTube channel. I've had one since 2009, and over the years it's really taken a toll on me, and I've become really open with everyone about depression, anxiety, pretty much anything under the sun when it comes to sadness and pain. And so I really want to be able to help you guys with that same thing. And so do all of us.
Yeah.
So we're here to answer any and every question you have.
We're just here to be human beings with you guys.
Yeah.
Just because there's like
Yay.
20 cameras, we're not that cool. And I know I'm
think
not
we're
that
pretty
cool.
cool.
I mean, we're cool, but...
What? Yes.
Yes. Oh. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
That center one?
This one?
Check one, check two.
I can
Credit card?
scream.
We take anything here at Alternative Press.
Okay.
Hello.
All right.
Got it. That's fine.
Sweet.
Can someone in the internet world let us know we're okay?
Yeah.
We're letting you
Please.
know it's okay.
Is this better? I don't know.
Awesome.
Okay.
All right.
All right, cool. We had a question on Twitter earlier today from Delaney. Her Twitter handle was Delaney NMF. She wanted to know how Braden and Leda met. How did you meet?
We met at Brian Starr's apartment in Los Angeles one
Yeah.
day.
Drop.
Well, what's wrong with Brian Starr's? I like his hair.
Yeah.
Um,
Brian's hair is
So
it's red.
we just met by complete chance. We were both not supposed to be there, but some things
Yeah.
happened in our personal lives, and we ended up just going there. I think you went there to make a video.
Well, yeah, but
with him.
I was supposed to leave, and then I ended up not being able to leave.
Yeah.
So I just spent the whole weekend with you.
Yeah, we just drank
But-
a lot of coffee, and
Yeah, had a lot
Here
of
we are.
coffee. And then,
coffee brings people together. Just
yeah,
remember that.
yeah, yes.
Well, I think they want to know, did you guys talk, or were you just standing
No,
in the
we
room
just sat
awkwardly
there.
across
No,
from
we,
each other and
we
started
really,
tweeting at one
we
another?
really like didn't even
we-
interact that much, to be completely
Tweeting each other
honest.
instead of yeah. Now I was very quiet that day.
Yeah.
Those days.
And
I don't remember why.
no, I don't know, but you were very quiet. It
I
was-
wore my peak out the whole
It was
time
cute.
too, even inside.
Yeah.
That's so
Cool.
sweet.
Well, that's the story basically.
Yeah, it's not that crazy.
Bands and Hot Cheetos from YouTube.
Oh, I
Wants
thought that
to
was a
know-
question.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, bands
and
and
hot
or
Cheetos.
hot Cheetos. No, this user wants to know, how do you deal with anxiety attacks? Have you ever dealt with an anxiety attack?
I personally have medication for it, but I don't prefer to take it if I don't have to. So a lot of the time what I do is I try to target where in my body the anxiety is happening, because a lot of the time it can be in your hands, like they tense up, or in your neck, or in your throat, or in your stomach. If you target it and just kind of follow around and be aware of where it is, then it eventually just it actually calms you down. And also feeling my heartbeat really helps me to just be aware of it once again. And also feeling someone else's heartbeat also helps.
Yeah, I
If
think
you, and also have
Sorry.
control over your breathing.
Yeah.
That's a
Breathing
big
is
one.
key.
Remember to breathe.
for me, it's breathing doesn't always help me, and it for some reason when I start feeling anxious, because I've always been a very quiet person. I grew up in a very small town, so I'm not I'm not always super comfortable in certain situations, and when I start feeling that, sometimes you can't do anything about it. Sometimes you just have to kind of let it subside. But I think the biggest thing about any kind of negative emotions that you're feeling, instead of letting it overwhelm you and letting it take you over, you gotta also physically be aware of it. But I think also mentally just kind of try to look at it from a third person perspective and see it as something else that's coming in and trying to take you over. And just kind of the more you're aware of that, the more you can understand why you're feeling it. And even if you don't know why you're feeling it, if you can just be aware of it and look at it and stare it in the face and say, like, just know it's not a part of you, but also just kind of let it be there, because the more you're aware of it, I think the more you're going to understand. So I think it just takes time to understand yourself, but it's very important to take the time to do that.
And that's important because, a lot of people think that when you're dealing with depression or any other like mental health issue, you necessarily have to take a pill, and you'll come to find that a lot of people don't enjoy taking pills because our bodies are not made for them, but they are needed. And I try to tell people every day that if you can counteract without having to just take a pill, you're going to actually keep moving ground and keep progressing, and that's the important thing, because this pill that they may prescribe you wasn't just designed for you. And we're all individuals, and that's what makes us awesome. But the more important thing is like Braden said, just being aware of it and controlling your breathing and not freaking out, because if you freak out, you'll spiral into a much deeper, panic attack, and then it's not a good situation there.
Also, kind of something that Braden was saying was look at it from a third-person perspective, in that try and look at your anxiety as if it's a separate being, I guess. Because then you can kind of tell, okay, is this me talking or is this the anxiety talking? Because most of the time, your anxiety is not telling you the truth. So that's another important thing to pay attention to.
Definitely. And thinking about kittens helps sometimes, too.
Kittens.
Kittens
also.
are cool.
Cool.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
It's about knowing what gives you hope and like the little things in life.
Yeah.
Kittens.
Also, listen to music, too.
Yeah,
music always
good.
helps.
Jules Marie 93 from Twitter wants to know, when things get hard for you, who are your biggest inspirations to push through the hard times?
I don't know. I think that's a tough one. I think a lot of that for me isn't necessarily like people, but it's like I just think about, whenever I start going through that, I think about the world as a whole. I think about just everybody, and that everyone's going through all that at the same time. So it's almost like it makes me feel closer to everybody. So I think just like knowing that other human beings are going through that, even if I don't know them, it kind of makes me just want to keep going more and want to keep going for people that I don't even know. And I don't even know if that makes sense, but I don't think there's like one person that makes me want to keep going, but definitely Frodo.
Yeah.
Frodo.
I was going to
Frodo.
say Gandalf.
Yeah. Somebody from Lord of the Rings, for sure.
Yeah.
I think the most important thing is to identify what gives you hope, what gets you through that day, what gets you through that moment. And realistically, that's why when I started Hope for the Day, that's why I wanted to call it that, because we got to take things one day at a time and understand that life is life. It's going to continuously throw things at you, and you're going to have to continuously figure out how to get around them. But knowing the small amount of things that get you through that day and make you happy, and that you lean on those, that's truly the most important thing, because sometimes it's 3 o'clock in the morning and our friends are asleep because they're, human, and we need something to, latch onto. So whether it be music or pizza, I know Braden, when he's upset, he eats a lot of pizza.
That makes me sound like very... No, I just like pizza.
Check his credit card
Even when I'm
statement.
happy, I
Anyways,
like to eat a
That's
lot of
very
pizza.
true, actually.
but it's more or less it's just understanding that you are worth it, and the things that you're going through right now are temporary, and that if you just keep pushing on, you're going to see the sun come up, and it'll be a great day.
Yeah.
For me, I hope this doesn't sound weird, but I guess the one person who gets me through hard times would be myself. Because, I really have learned over time that I can't rely on anyone else. Or that's how I feel, at least. And I've become a really, really introspective person over the years. In fact, I think I've always been pretty introspective. And so kind of just spending my time, breaking down what's bothering me and learning what the source is, that really helps me figure out how to defeat it. Because, I have all of these different parts instead of this whole whirlpool of issues that I'm dealing with. Instead, I have it all categorized and can figure it out. So honestly, just spending a whole lot of time in my own head really helps me get through things like that.
I think it's just different for everybody,
Yeah.
It is.
And it's okay that
Yeah.
it is. Just you know, whenever you feel like that, I think it's important to. One thing that's helped me, like one practice, is honestly like whenever I feel like I have nothing, whenever I feel like I don't know what to do and I'm lost and I don't want to be here. Honestly, like if I force myself to write down 5 things that I'm thankful for in my life, and just like even a few things that I know I'm blessed to have in my life, that always helps put things in perspective, because I know there's a lot of people in the world that don't have, you know, even things like a cup of water, you know what I mean? It's just like, you got to remember what you do have, and that also the world we live in is insane, so it's okay that you feel like that, and it's normal to feel confused and not know what to do, because we live in a crazy place.
I'm constantly in a complicated situation or relationship with the world, known as Facebook.
Same. Yeah.
But you know what? John from the Maine says the best: confront what you can't, or confront what you can, and control what you can't, and that's the truth. Got to find it.
All right. Yeah.
We have a lot of questions coming in about bullying. They're asking, you know, various things like, should I switch schools? Should I do this? Should I do that? Have you guys ever dealt with bullying? And can you, if you did, how did you get through it? What helped you through that?
Who wants to start?
Yeah, who wants to
I will.
start this one? I'll go from the school side. You go for the personal side. So you guys go first.
Well, a lot of the bullying for me started at a really, really young age. In fact, it was mostly categorized to elementary school and middle school. I didn't change schools. I kind of just toughed it out. But really, I just kind of learned how to cope with it, I guess, you know, not fight back, because if they don't see that they're getting a rise out of you, then they'll probably, you know, back off a little bit, because that's what they want. They want you to be upset. And it's the same with people online, too. You know, cyberbullying, they want you to be sad. They want you to be angry. They want to make you feel bad.
Yeah.
And so, you know, that's I think the same. It's pretty similar when it comes to schools. You know, just keep in mind that the kids who are doing this to you, they don't understand, and they're hurt as well.
Yeah, they're going through some stuff too.
That's why they're doing it, is because they're not happy.
It's important to remember, you know, that like when someone projects something negative on you and makes
projection.
you feel terrible, it's because it's literally that's what's living inside of them, and they're projecting that out onto you, because that's negative energy needs, you know, someone else to feel terrible so it can continue to be there.
Yeah.
And for me now, like, high school was one thing, but doing this music thing, you know, no matter what I put out, no matter what music I put out, no matter what videos, pictures, like, there's always people that bully me and bully, you know, Leda and anyone who you know, puts themselves out there. And that I think for me now is the bullying that's harder to deal with, because it's like, it's not even just like I'll be in the hallway and someone will push me. It's like, oh, the art that you spent hours and hours working on isn't good, and it's very hurtful. So I think it's even now for me hard to remember sometimes that it doesn't matter what people say, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. And you know, it may take time for you to really convince yourself of that and understand that, but it's the truth. And I think it's just a journey to get yourself to a spot where you're just confident with who you are. You can love yourself enough that you're not going to let somebody else come between you and yourself. You know.
Yeah, every day, you know, you got to keep growing. And, you know, I was bullied as a kid, and this was before bullying was even a term that was related to mental health. It was more like the bully, like Nelson. Was it Nelson or the dude from Simpsons or whatever? Who was the guy that beat the crap out of everyone on the Simpsons? Anyways, I guarantee if they showed B-roll of the Simpsons, that dude was crying in the corner at one point in time because he was so sad, and he just had to take it out on everyone else. But I went to a school that had 6,000 kids at it, and you really couldn't beat anything. Yeah, I know. 6,000 kids. My graduation was 1,417 kids. But what I did, and what we try to tell people with the organization is that go to your school authorities, go to the people that are going to be there to help maintain and control the situation, and let them know that it's going on. Because if you're not talking about it, you're just going to let it keep building up. And, you know, God forbid we have another situation where someone comes and does something stupid at a school or harms other people because of their pain. Yeah. We need to just open up. And if someone's, talking down on you, just turn them around. Just tell them, I would appreciate it if you would stop. But if you really want to ask them what's going on in their life, why they have to, project this onto you. Because this is a community, whether it's music or school or just the kids on the block. You all are a community that you need to be able to rely on one another for. So it's important just to talk about it and not get all upset. I mean, life's always going to be throwing curveballs of crap at you, and you're going to have to keep ducking. And it's just it's a part of life. And right now, if you're in high school or you're younger than that, it's part of your story, and you have many other pages to write. So just keep on writing and forget about them because it'll come back to them, For sure.
Two more things that I wanted to mention is one thing that I've learned is people's opinions about you are literally just their opinions. They have nothing to do with you, and it's all their issue. So if someone says, you're stupid, does that make you stupid? No, because it's not a fact. It's an opinion. And it only has to do with them. It's only in their head. That's only their perspective. So that doesn't make it real. That doesn't make it true. So, you don't have to believe it. And that takes a lot of practice, but it's really something worth spending time to learn. And the second thing is, if you are someone who takes out your anger and pain on someone else, please try to learn not to do that, because anything, even just the smallest comment that you could say to someone, could really affect them for years to their entire life. So I just felt like reaching out to that.
Going through.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to remember that, even if you want to slap your best friend, just try to remember that, we're all human beings. We all go through the same stuff, and just treat people the way you want to be treated.
Yeah, lead by example. I mean, you could walk around and be upset, or you could just take that negativity and turn it into a positive. And instead of being, worried about seeing that one person in your school or whatever, walk around and just make sure everyone else is okay and put out that good energy and that good vibes. And it's going to come back to you. And just know that whoever's making fun of you is going through some stuff that they just don't want to talk about. So push them to challenge themselves, to be honest with themselves. And then all of a sudden, you'll be hugging it out.
Cool.
Hopefully.
Hop to the next question.
So, Jonny, your organization deals a lot with suicide awareness and prevention, and tomorrow, as you guys have mentioned, is World Suicide Prevention Day. So if someone wanted to get involved and they wanted to raise awareness, what steps would you say, because obviously you've taken the steps to do this yourself, what would you say they can do to get a start in their community?
Prevention starts with a conversation. And it's not the conversation of, I need help. It's just being honest with people and saying, hey, life's a little weird right now. Can I talk to you about it? So one thing that I want to encourage everyone tomorrow is to start that conversation. If you see that person in school, or if you see that person in maybe a coffee shop or whatever, that is maybe not, going through the best situation right now, or you just think that they may, be a little bit down, go up to them and just talk to them and just let them know that, hey, if you need anything, I'm here. You may not know me, but that's how, true friendships start. That's how conversation starts, and that's how prevention really does start. Right now, we're seeing 800,000 people die by suicide every year, and it's because we're scared to talk. And one thing that is beautiful about, the organization and working with musicians and all these other great platforms is that these are people that are expressing themselves through things that they enjoy to do every single day, whether it's a good day or a bad day. And finding that is important. So tomorrow, if you can start that by just letting people know that it's okay to feel pain, and it's okay to ask for help. That's the first start. And whether that's going on social media, talking to people in person, just let people know that tomorrow and from every day past that, we stand together in the fight against life, suicide, mental health. But more or less, we're here together, and it's important to let people know that.
Definitely.
So Ari Pierce the Fields on YouTube wants to know from Braden. She's having a lot of trouble with stage fright right now, and she wants to know, how do you overcome your stage fright when you're performing?
That's honestly, there's no secret to that. It's, you have to force yourself to get on stage and be in front of people. And I've been doing this for almost 7 years now, and I honestly, it took me probably about 5 years to be actually comfortable and learn how to let go on stage. And I think a lot of it is, when you're up there, you're worried about what people are thinking about, and you're worried about how you're going to mess up and people are going to make fun of you and laugh at you. And for me, it was I was just very insecure about what I was doing, because I didn't I don't know, I just had a lot of doubts about myself. So I think if you can kind of just the more time you spend with your art, whether that you're playing guitar, you're singing, whatever you're doing on that stage, the more it's going to feel like it's a part of you, so the less you're going to doubt it. So I think it's honestly about spending time with it and just practicing and forcing yourself every time to get on that stage, even if you don't want to, because I guarantee you, if you do it, even if you're scared the whole time, as soon as you're done, you're going to be thankful that you did it. And the next time you do it, it's not going to be as hard. So honestly, the only way to kill that fear is to face it, and it's natural. It's completely natural for you to feel that, but just don't let that stop you. Yeah, it's like any fear. It's like, except the one fear I'll never be able to. Spiders. That's one exception.
Yeah.
I'll never be able to really confront that fear. But anyway, it's different than stage fright. So I guarantee if there was a spider on a stage, I probably wouldn't be able to get up there either.
Yeah.
I am like deathly terrified of spiders for some weird reason. Anyway, but yeah, so just get up there on that stage and do your thing, and don't let anybody stop you. Don't let those thoughts stop you from trying. Definitely, just do it. Just go for it.
Do it.
Scared, man.
So Sierra on YouTube wants to know, she actually lost her dad to suicide 4 years ago, and I know this is a situation you guys can relate to. She wants to know how to not give up hope and how to continue being happy.
Well, I'll start by saying this. Hope for the Day, we work with a lot of families that have lost kids. We work with kids who've lost parents. We've lost grandparents. And the one thing about life that we don't understand is why people give up. But the one thing that we can do as survivors is carry that message and carry that torch in honor of the people that we've lost. And there's the days, like there's the anniversaries, the memorials and stuff like that everyone has to face. But it's so important to take that pain and say, you know what, I'm done. I'm done. Crying. I'm done suffering. I need to go out there and help prevent more things like this happening. Yeah. And we work with countless families, and every time I'm sitting there, I'm like, all right, I'm not here to be like insensitive, but I want to let you know, life's not going to change unless you change it. And what you need to do is you need to take that one reason, amongst now many other reasons, probably, because once you have a suicide in your family, everyone's like, well, I lost this person, and this person, and it becomes a much more alarming and scary thought. But the idea is that if you take that and you start speaking up on behalf of that person that you lost, you're putting them in a good light, but you're also helping many other people, because the truth is, within earshot, there's probably someone there that's been impacted, and they're just scared to talk about it. And if you can be that conversation starter, I mean, why not?
I think one thing to look at is there's nothing that can be said to make the pain go away, and that's just part of life. But I think the one thing to remember is the reason that people, I think, get to that point where they just feel like there's no point of being here. That's the complete opposite of how you're supposed to feel. Being alive and having the chance to exist, it doesn't really make sense. But I think the reason that people get to that point is because they're so overtaken by all these external things that come in and basically convince them that they are something that they're not, whether that's depressed or sad or not good enough. Like, they get so convinced that that's who they are, and they're so attached to those ideas that were formed because of things outside of them that's what they live in. And sometimes it just gets so strong that there's no way to break it. So I think just try to use that, and just remember, like, the reason that happens to people is because of the world and because of the negativity and the evil that's out there. So I think if you're aware of that, and you can take that and try to just be aware and spread that to people, and I don't know, just try to realize the value of life and the value of being alive, and having the chance to having the time to choose what you do and choose how you treat people and
make an impact.
Exactly. So I think just using that to show the value of being alive, and it's a tough thing to talk about, though. It really is. I mean,
it really is. Yeah. But I've lost, unfortunately, 13 people to suicides, and each time I get the unfortunate news, I get the same questions, and the reality is that it all comes back down to conversation and being able to talk to your friends, your family, your peers, even the people on the street. But if none of those people are going to work, there's hotlines out there for you that are available 24 hours a day that everyone and anyone can talk to, because those people are ready to hear what you have to say. They're not going to judge you. They don't care about where you're coming from. They care about where you're going. And if you've lost someone, you have a reason. But if you're dealing with your own issues, you have a more important reason, so you don't become that statistic that unfortunately builds up suicide data.
Yeah, and I think specifically for dealing with people that you love that have committed suicide, or just anyone that you've lost, keep in mind that the grief process is different for everyone. For you, it may take years. For someone else, it may take a couple months or a week. There's no wrong length of time for grieving. And I think also coping with grief is extremely different for every single person. So you really just have to find your niche. You have to find what makes you comfortable, find what makes you happy about, try remembering them in a positive light. Don't think about the fact they're gone. And don't think about the fact that, oh, you didn't get to do this, you didn't get to do that. Think about all the things that you did get to experience with him or with anyone that you've lost. And one other thing is that I've heard from several people is don't think that they didn't love you or that they didn't care enough to stay, because really it's something that even they couldn't control, if you think about it, and they just couldn't do it anymore. And that doesn't mean that they didn't want to be there for you. That doesn't mean that they didn't want to be in your life. It's just they had to let go. And, it's really unfortunate that people feel like they have to do that. But, I mean, there are so many different things that people can do to help each other to prevent that, which is, like what Jonny's doing and what Braden and I are trying to do. So overall, I would just say that it's different for everyone, and don't try to rush yourself. Don't try to rush yourself out of the grief process, because that could make it worse very easily. So just take your time, and eventually the grief will be easier to cope with.
Yeah, know that you're not alone.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of people coming through, and I see this common thread of misunderstanding. So someone asked what to do when your parents don't believe you're depressed, or when you talk to friends and they get mad at you because they don't understand, they don't know how to help. What is the next step they can take to maybe talk to those people in a way that's productive, or what kind of ways can you start a conversation with someone who might not understand what you're going through?
Well, we have to understand one thing. When we reach out to our friends may be going through something that we don't know about either. But more importantly, if I'm a friend and someone reaches out to me, the first thing I've told myself is that I know that I'm not going to be able to save them personally, but I'm going to say, hey, there's professional treatment out there. I can help get the numbers. I can put them in. I can make the call. A lot of things that we do at the organization is when we reach out to when kids reach out and they can't make that call, we make several calls every year on behalf of people and just connect them with a counselor so they can get that next part of that conversation going, because your parents may not understand you. I talked to so many parents on Warped Tour, and they're like, well, I didn't really know that this whole social media thing was going on, and shit, my daughter was having all these problems, but I'm glad she let me know finally. But it's like, they're not going to understand you sometimes, and your friends are going to be like, oh, you've been crying over him or her for so long, just get over it. And it's not that they don't care about you, it's just they're not equipped. And that's the thing. We need to understand as humans, we are not equipped to save the day, but we can say, hey, look for that beacon of hope. Here's this phone number. Here are these people that are ready to help you. And it's going to that. So if your parents aren't listening, then call the 800 numbers, because those are free. You're not going to get in any trouble. But more importantly, you're going to talk to someone that's going to say, hey, can I connect you with a counselor in your area? And that is the first step of many. But know that it's an everyday process that you got to keep kicking at it.
Definitely. And for me personally, I think my struggle was honestly that I didn't want to tell anybody when I was feeling that way. So I kind of had the opposite. I didn't want my parents to know. I didn't want my friends to know. So I put, I always kept a lot inside, and I still do. And it's, I think that's caused a lot of problems for me too. So I think, again, the most important thing is to, if it feels like nobody around you cares or understands, then yeah, call one of those numbers, because that's what those people do, and that's why those people are there. And But I do, I totally understand the feeling of not having anybody, and that's a very hard feeling to deal with. But I think even when you're in the middle of that, and even if it feels like there's nobody, you got to remember that there are so many people in this world that are feeling what you're feeling. And I know that's like the most like cliche thing, and everyone says like you're not alone, but it is the truth. And like you got to think about it, like everybody struggles to figure out what they're supposed to be doing. Everyone loses people, everyone gets hurt, and that's just like the cycle of a human life. So
that's nothing about being a kid either.
No, exactly. And again, like I think when I was 14, I was going through the same kind of sadness that I go through when I'm 20, but it's because of different things, but it's still the same feeling. And I think just from talking to people that are older, even like it continues on, and I think it's always going to be there. You just got to learn how to identify, and you got to learn how to kind of not let it become who you are, because I think it's very dangerous when you start getting lost in whatever that feeling might be.
I personally was somewhat like Braden, in that I didn't like to put my pain onto other people. I didn't want to burden them with it, and I kind of had a little bit of a pride complex when it came to wanting to figure things out all by myself. I didn't want anyone's help, and if people even tried to help me, I just would choose not to listen. And that ultimately was a very, very bad decision, and over the years just kind of really built up, and I didn't even see it coming. And so actually when I deleted my YouTube channel, I decided to do that within a 20-minute time span. Like, I just snapped and then couldn't do it anymore. And it was because of all of this weight that was built up on my shoulders, and I was just crushed by it. And so I think one very, very important thing to keep in mind is talk to someone, like, please, because I was still, even after I deleted my YouTube channel, I was still actually doing a lot worse than before I deleted it. And so I had to go to a psychiatrist, and it just felt so great to be able to put all of this onto someone who is equipped to deal with it. Yeah, and understands and knows the psychological part of it, and knows the way around things like this, because a lot of people don't they don't look at depression or anxiety as real illnesses or real problems. They're just, oh yeah, it's just your brain, just be happy. That's not something realistic at all. This is a chemical imbalance. This is something that you really can't control after a certain point. And so really the most important thing here that I would like to say is just talk to someone. Like Jonny said and like Braden said, there are people you can call. If you can't get a psychiatrist or a therapist, sometimes they don't even help. Suicide hotlines work. Other
school
hotlines.
Counselors.
Yeah, school counselors
principals,
can help. Yeah,
teachers.
Just talk to someone who knows what. Who knows how to deal with things like that.
And honestly, even if all of that fails, and if you feel like there's nobody, the reason that I'm here right now, the reason that I do music is because that was my comfort. That was what I went to. It's not a person, but it was the thing inside of me that I always knew was could drag me away from that darkness. And throughout high school, everyone was telling me not to spend so much time on music because I had to choose what I was going to go to college for and choose what I was going to do with my life. But I had to stay close to that because that's what got me through. And I honestly don't know if I would be here without having music.
Oh my gosh.
And so I think if you guys have something that you feel like you're very passionate about or that you love, whether it's drawing or taking photos or creating something, like
cooking.
anything at all, riding cows, like it doesn't matter, anything at all.
Actually, I want to ride a cow.
It would be fun, right? I don't know.
It's not like
but,
one of those mechanical bulls or
Yeah.
anything, right?
No, like
but
just
my point,
slow
Those look
and
dangerous.
Okay,
Yeah.
I maybe shouldn't have said that. We're going a little too deep into
sorry.
that.
Off on
But no,
tangents.
my point is, honestly, don't let others drag you away from what you love and what you love. Don't let your teachers do that. Don't let your parents do that. Don't let your counselors do that. Like, if you love something, then hold on to it, because that's going to get you through a lot, and that got me through pretty much everything. So, yeah, yes.
Cool. I think that's all we have time for. If you guys want to sign out and tell
Cool.
them where they can find you on
Awesome.
social media, and if you, Jonny, if you have any resources you want to point to.
Yeah. I'll go last.
Sweet. Well, thank you guys for watching today, and I hope we answered some of your questions. My name is Braden from Say We Can Fly. You can go to facebook.com/SayWeCanFly to check out all my weird posts, and youtube.com/SayWeCanFly to check out some of my music. We're on the Conversations tour right now, so make sure to check out our tour dates at bandsintown.com/SayWeCanFly. Hopefully we're coming to a city near you, and we can hang out and take some selfies.
And once again, I'm Leda from YouTube, the internet, basically. And my YouTube channel is youtube.com/LedaBunny, so TheLedaBunny. And that's the same as my Instagram. And then my Twitter is LedaCmuir, LedaCmuir. And I try to pretty often talk to you guys if I can. And if you ever need any problems, I would love to be there for you. So.
Absolutely. And obviously, I'm Jonny from Hope for the Day, but the Conversations tour just started. There's a lot of dates out there, and if you guys are feeling like you don't have anyone you can talk to, come out. We're just hanging out at the merch tables, and we are there to talk to you guys. And the music is secondary, but the conversations are why we're really there. But if you can't make it out there, I encourage you to go to the Hope for the Day website. You can just Google Hope for the Day, Hoop for the Day. Hula hooping for the day. Anyways, Google Hope for the Day or hftd.org, and there's a button that says Find Help. All the 24-hour hotline numbers are listed right there. You can text them, you can call them, you can actually email them too. But most importantly, know that it's okay not to be okay, and that life is not out to get you. And you have this one opportunity, so let's make the best out of it, and just know that, as cliche it is, tomorrow is a brighter day. And we're going to be here in Cleveland, so please do reach out and just know that you're a story that is still in process of writing.
Stay cozy, please.
Stay cozy.
Love you guys. Bye.